Alrighty, so thank you for coming in today. We're going to be going through some weighted squats. Now, I know that last time I worked with you, you said how you appreciate knowing what muscles that you're using when you're going through an exercise. So I thought that I would just give you a quick rundown. So we've got primary and secondary muscles. The primary muscles in a squat are going to be things like your glutes. That's probably number one. Your quads, your hip flexors. So those are probably the big three when we're talking about squats. And then secondary is going to be things like your abdominal muscles, your calves, and your hamstring. So I want you to have some mind to muscle connection when you're going for that squat, where you're thinking about squeezing those glutes, you're thinking about the contraction in your quads and that hip flexion. So bringing that leg up towards your chest, basically just lowering yourself down. So that's kind of what we're going to get started for today. We're going to go for a weight where we're going to get 8 to 10 reps with difficulty finishing the 10th rep. And then we're going to actually change the loading pattern and the difficulty as well, and go for a Bulgarian split squat. Have you heard of one of those? All right, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get started. And then I thought it would also be beneficial to kind of go through why this exercise is important. Now obviously the glutes, quads, hip flexors, calves, and hamstrings, you're working primarily and secondarily a lot of the muscles in the legs. So it's kind of obvious to understand that a squat is going to be integral to functional training. Because all those muscles are going to aid you in locomotion. So just walking. It's going to make walking easier, walking up the stairs, carrying groceries, that kind of stuff. Yeah? Alright. Now the way we're going to load this up is going to be goblet squat style. So we're going to be grabbing our weight. We're grabbing this guy right between the hands. And then I want you getting feet about shoulder width apart. To initiate the movement, I want you to think about just sending that butt backwards. You hinge at the hips, you hinge at the knees, coming down to about 90 degrees, and then we're driving through the hips. Now it's important to remember that when we're going in for a squat, we want to try to keep a similar angle between our back and our lower leg. It's called tip torso alignment, so we don't want to be leaning it too far forward because then the ratio is off. We don't want to lean too far back or we're at risk of falling backwards. So we can sit up kind of just like this, squat it down, grab this guy, and then there we go. Like I said, we're going to go for 8 to 10 reps, depending on difficulty here. Yeah, do you have any questions? Yeah. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to have you perform just a couple of unweighted reps first so you can check for form. So remember to try to initiate that movement, pushing that butt back. And we hinge at the hip, we hinge at the knees, bring it down to about 90 degrees, and then making sure that that back and tibia alignment is proper. Beautiful. Just get a couple more of those just to check. We're trying to make sure that we're pushing those knees outwards, yeah? Okay, beautiful. Feel good? Alright, so then we're going to weight this up now. I've got a 45-pound dumbbell here. So, start it there. Shooting for 10, but 8 is an acceptable number as well. feel? Any feedback at all? No? Okay, got it. Sounds good. Alright, and then to kind of like change this guy up a bit to give you some like different options. That was obviously weighted. We're gonna go for a different variation, but this one's gonna be body weight. So the intensity is brought down a little bit, but we're also gonna make it a unilateral exercise. So it's gonna make it a little bit more difficult. It's called the Bulgarian split squat. So you're gonna set yourself up just like sitting on the bench here. Legs are at full extension. Then you pull one leg in. You're gonna keep that foot there. And with the other foot, you're just gonna place it on top of the bench. Now, for this one, I don't want you to like initiate any like the movement by like pushing your butt back instead of just lowering your shoulders. Now this is gonna be the working leg, the standing leg. This guy on the bench is just used for balance. So, keep the leg straight back and just bring it all the way down. We're driving up through the heel again. Down. Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll get it going. Alright, so we're going to set ourselves up. So just sitting down, you extend the legs, keep it here. And the other one's going to come back up on the bench. Perfect. Alright, looking good, looking good. And then you're just going to lower yourself down, so you're going to be bending at the hip at the knee, bring it down. Right. So once again, we're going to try for 8 to 10 reps here. We'll keep that back nice. Tough one. Okay, how is that? Good. Okay, so we're just going to set ourselves up and we're going to go for the other side. So this time we're going to extend both legs. We're going to keep that right leg there. Stand up. Balance. Okay, and then you can get started whenever you want. A little harder on this side. Alright, fantastic. Balance is a hard one on this one. Beautiful. A couple more. Perfect. Alright. Anything on those at all? That right side was easier, okay? Okay, you got it. Alright. So we just went through two versions of like a squat movement pattern. We went through the goblet squat with the weight there. And then that Bulgarian split squat with the bench. Now, earlier I gave you like a list of muscles that we were working, primary and secondary. I also wanted to give you like a set of fit principles so that you can do these like exercises on your own and you know kind of what acute variables you're going to be doing. So just to be able to do what we just did, but like without breathing. So fit, F-I-T-T, is going to stand for frequency, intensity, time, and type. So fit to type. Now, frequency with the hypertrophy style phase that we're wanting to train you in. Frequency for hypertrophy is going to be anywhere from like 3 to 6 times per week. Seeing as we're just starting our training, I'm going to be setting you at 3 times a week. So on the lower end of the spectrum. In terms of intensity, we always want to try to keep the intensity range between 70 and 85% for the hypertrophy style. Once again, we're going to go for the lower end there, so we're going for 70% of your 1 rep maximum. that make sense? Time, in this kind of sense, is going to be thinking about like the time under tension. So how long do you have tension in those muscles per set? So per like 10 squats or per 10 Bulgarian split squats, how much tension and how long do you have that tension in your legs for? We're going to have a spectrum of like 30 to 60 seconds time under tension. On this one, we're going to give you the higher end so that you have a little bit longer to complete those exercises. And the time under tension is longer at that point as well. And then type is a funny one, especially for hypertrophy. With other training styles, there's like a specific like type of movement that you like go with in order to get those adaptations. But for hypertrophy, it's just going to be muscle specific. So it's just specific to the muscle that you're using. So you don't really necessarily have to worry about that one. All you really need to worry about is 3 times a week, 70% of your 1 rep maximum, and then let's shoot for like 60 seconds time under tension. You got it? Yes. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you for coming in today. Good times, good times.